Good morning, friends. I hope everyone is doing well. I request everyone to watch my videos in a sequence for better understanding. In the last video, we have discussed types of instructions like we have data transfer instructions, data manipulate instructions, and program control instructions. In this video, I want to discuss the data transfer instructions in detail. What is the purpose of data transfer instruction? They will be useful for us to transfer the data from one location to another location. Now, it can be the source can be an input device and the destination can be a main memory, or the source can be a main memory and it can be any operand or any registers. So, this is the way the data transfer instructions will be useful. Now, let me discuss the data transfer instructions. What are they? We have load instruction, we have store instruction, move, exchange, input, output, push, pop. These are the 8 types of instructions are there in the data transfer instruction. Now let me discuss how the load instruction will be represented. It will be represented as LD, and store instruction will be represented as ST, and move instruction will be represented as MOV, exchange instruction will be denoted as XCX, and input instruction will be represented as IN, output instruction will be represented as OUT, and push and pop instructions will be represented as push and pop. Okay, now let me discuss about the load instruction in detail. Now, whenever you want to move the content from some main memory to some register or some operand, then you will use this load instruction. Are you able to understand? From the memory or from the main memory, you want to store the content into the some register or some operand, then we will use this load instruction. Remember always all these instructions, the data transfer instructions, based on the addressing mode, it will be the instruction will vary. Meaning is that if you see any instruction will consist of 3 parts. One is the addressing mode or instruction mode, and then you have the opcode and you have the operands. What is the instruction mode? We have discussed various addressing modes. Around 10 addressing modes we have discussed in one of the earlier video. If you does not watch that video, please check that video and come back to this video for better understanding. Then we have discussed about the opcode, like what is the operation you want to perform. If you are performing the load, the opcode will be LD. And what are the operands are there. Okay, so now if you see that in the operands, you will have a source operand and a destination operand. So similarly here, the source operand is the main memory and the destination operand is R1. So how I will represent it as LD, some R1, okay, and the main memory. Let's take that I have represented the main memory addresses like this. So now what will happen? Now whatever the content which is there in the address location 20 in the main memory, let's take that it is having value 30. That content will be stored in the register R1. Is it clear? Will be loaded, or I can say that the 30 will be loaded into the register R1. So this is the way the load instruction will be executed. Why I am saying that this instruction will vary based on the addressing mode. If it is an indirect address, then what will happen? Now let's take that if it is an indirect address, first it will go to the address 20 in the main memory. Now whatever the value is there is 30. It is not the value, it is the target address. So you will go to the address location 30. Let's take that value 10 is there. Then that 10 value will be loaded into the R1 register. So that is what I want to say. This instruction depend on what instruction mode you are using or what addressing mode you are using. Now we will discuss about the next instruction is the store instruction. So the opcode will be ST, and similarly you should have a source operand and a destination operand. Here the source operand is some registers or some what you call the operand. Is it clear? It can be an A or it can be some register, and the destination will be the main memory. Now you can ask me, sir, how it will be useful? Now let's take that ST and your destination operand you have to give. Suppose let's take that you want to store the content in the address location 20. Then R1 you have written. Then what will happen in the main memory 20 location number 20, address location number 20, let's take that R1 is having the content as some 15. This content 15 or the value 15 will be stored in the memory of address location 20. So remember one thing, in the load you are copying the content from the main memory to some register, whereas in store from this register to main memory you are transferring the data. So here the destination is the main memory address location and the source is the register or some operand. Okay. Now we will discuss about the move instruction. Now move instruction will be useful whenever you want to transfer the content from one register to another register or from one operand to another operand. Okay, is it clear? It can be anything. Now when we will, what is the purpose of move R1 and R2? What is the destination here? Destination is R1 and source is the R2. So whatever the content is there in the R2 will be loaded into the register R1. Similarly here, whatever the content is there in the B will be loaded into the A. Is it clear? So I hope you have understood about the move instruction. Now we will discuss about the exchange instruction. Now let's take that R1 register is having the value some 10, R2 is having the value 20. Okay. Now those who know the C programming language, first they will ask, when you are beginners, they will ask you transfer the, or what you call shift the, not shift, exchange, yeah, correct. Exchange the values. Let's take that A is having some 10 and B is 20 you have. Now they will ask exchange these values using a third variable, means you have two variables. Exchange the data in both the variables using a temporary variable or without using a temporary variable. I hope you have written the C programs based on this one. Am I right? So similarly, this instruction can be performed by using an exchange ex1, and if I write R1 comma R2, then what will happen? The content which is there in R2 will be copied or will be exchanged to R1, and whatever the content which was there in R1 earlier will be copied to the R2. So the data will be exchanged between R1 and R2. Okay, so I hope you have understood the exchange operation or exchange instruction. Now we will discuss about the input instruction. This input instruction will be useful for you to transfer the data from any input device to the memory or a register. Now let me discuss how it will be. It will be denoted as IN, okay, and here the destination can be some register or some operand and source is your input device. Are you able to understand? The address location which is there in the input device. Okay, so which is similar to the load, but the load you have the main memory and here you have the address of the any input device you are giving. So your destination is some register or some operand and source is your address of any input device. Okay, so similarly the out instruction or output instruction will be useful for you to transfer the content from some main memory or from the registers to an output device. Is it clear? So if you want to transfer any content to the output device is your destination and the source can be a register or it can be a main memory address location. Is it clear? So this is the way the output instruction will be executed. Now similarly the push and pop operations. Now you can construct the memory using the stack also. Am I right or wrong? Now what is the stack data structure will say? It will execute in the principle of last in first out or first in last out. What is the meaning? Whatever the instruction you have inserted first, not instruction, I am talking about instruction, but whatever the content you have inserted or pushed into the stack, that will be popped at last. Okay, then you can ask me what is push and pop. Push is nothing but inserting an element into the stack, and pop is deleting the element or topmost element from the stack. Okay, so these two instructions will be useful whenever you are doing with the stack. So these are the various data transfer instructions. I hope you have understood all these instructions. If you still have any doubts related to any one of the instruction, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will clear your doubts in less than 24 hours. Thank you for watching my video. Have a nice day.